In the year 2421, humanity was a minor presence in the galactic community, a young species that had only joined the Galactic Assembly 2 decades earlier. Most of the elder races saw Earth as primitive, emotional, and chaotic. To them, humans were curiosities, clever enough to build ships, reckless enough to launch them without permission. The Velari Dominion, rulers of 12 star systems, and self-proclaimed peacekeepers of the Orion Arm, were the first to remind humanity of its place. When the Vega mining incident happened, a small human colony accused of stealing Velari mineral rights, the Dominion didn't send diplomats. They sent warships. They arrived above Vega 3, a blue-green planet with 500,000 colonists. Without warning, they bombarded the surface. 2 cities were erased in seconds. The transmissions were cut off mid-scream. The Galactic Assembly condemned it in the strongest terms, but did nothing. The Velari claimed it was an enforcement action. The rest of the galaxy nodded quietly and looked away. They didn't know what humanity would do next. The silence after Vega. 3 weeks after the attack, Admiral Jonathan Hale stood in the darkened Situation Room of the UN Stellar Command aboard the USS Vengeance. His hands were clasped behind his back, eyes fixed on the holographic display of the Vega system, marked with red crosses where the colonies once stood. No one spoke. The silence was heavier than the vacuum outside. "Casualty estimate?" Hale asked, finally. 482,000 confirmed dead, sir," replied Commander Liang. 72,000 missing or unaccounted for. Hale closed his eyes. He'd spent 20 years trying to build trust with the galaxy, trying to convince them that humans weren't the monsters of old Earth's history. And yet, somehow, the galaxy had proven far more monstrous. "Prepare the retaliation directive," he said quietly. Liang hesitated. "Sir, the Assembly has forbidden." "Let them forbid." Hale's voice was calm, but his tone had the gravity of cold steel. "They burned a world. They think we'll bow. Let's teach them what it means when humans fight back." Operation Emberfall. The plan was born in the silence of fury. Officially, Earth did nothing. Publicly, humanity mourned and sent petitions to the Assembly. But in secret, under the black flag of Operation Emberfall, 12 ships disappeared from the Sol system. They were not warships by the Assembly's definition. They were cargo haulers, research cruisers, and exploration vessels, retrofitted with railguns, plasma torpedoes, and something new: the Aegis Drive, a human invention no other species possessed. It wasn't faster than light. Everyone had that. But the Aegis Drive could phase shift, turning matter into high-energy particles for seconds, allowing a ship to pass through shields or even asteroids. The rest of the galaxy thought it was impossible. Humans had built it in silence. For 6 months, the fleet vanished into dark space. When the Velari convoy Sarek 9 came through the neutral trade corridor, carrying rare minerals and slaves from conquered worlds, they didn't expect anything unusual. Then the space around them shimmered, and 12 invisible ships dropped out of phase. "Unidentified vessels, identify yourselves," the Velari captain demanded. The reply came in a calm, human voice. "This is Admiral Hale of the United Earth Navy. You murdered civilians. We are here to return the favor." Then the stars lit up. Railgun slugs tore through shielded hulls like paper. Plasma torpedoes vaporized escorts. Within 4 minutes, the Velari convoy was gone, a silent graveyard of drifting metal. The humans transmitted one message to the Galactic Assembly: "Justice for Vega." The galaxy reacts. The reaction was immediate. Across the Assembly, the elder races argued in panic. The humans had broken 50 interstellar laws, violated neutral space, and destroyed a Dominion fleet. But something about the footage, the cold precision, the efficiency, terrified them. The Velari declared total war. They underestimated humanity again. When their fleets entered Sol territory, they expected a desperate defense. Instead, they found emptiness. Earth's orbital platforms were powered down. Mars bases were silent. Then the trap closed. Dozens of stealth satellites, disguised as asteroid debris, activated. They emitted pulses that disrupted Velari shield harmonics. The second wave of satellites detonated nuclear warheads directly above the Velari flagship. In the chaos, human ships struck like ghosts, appearing and vanishing using Aegis drive phasing. The Battle of Sol lasted 17 minutes. The Velari lost 3 carriers and retreated. The rest of the galaxy watched in horror. The interview. After the battle, a neutral journalist from the Talcor Union, one of the few species friendly to humans, interviewed Admiral Hale. "You realize," she said, her voice trembling through the translator, "that the Dominion will never forgive you. They will come again with hundreds of ships." Hale looked at her calmly. "They already have, and will keep sending them home in pieces." "But why fight? You could have surrendered. The Assembly might have." "The Assembly did nothing," Hale interrupted. "They talk of peace, but peace means obedience to them. We've seen this story before, on our own world. We know what happens when you bow to bullies." The Talcor journalist tilted her head. "Your species, you seem to thrive on conflict." Hale smiled faintly. "No, we hate it. That's why we're good at it. Because when we fight, it's never for conquest. It's for survival." The turning point. By 2423, the Velari War had dragged on for 2 years. Humanity had no empire, no ancient fleets, just ingenuity, stubbornness, and fury. They built decoy moons that exploded when scanned. They hacked enemy communications using captured AI cores. They turned entire asteroid belts into kinetic traps. In the Battle of Orion's Edge, 300 human ships faced 1,200 Velari vessels. The Dominion commander laughed at the numbers. He didn't laugh long. Human ships scattered, pretending to retreat, then detonated hundreds of dormant mining drones hidden in the nebula. The resulting plasma storm crippled the Velari sensors, while phase-shifted strike teams teleported inside enemy flagships and sabotaged reactors manually. When the storm cleared, the Velari fleet was gone. The Dominion sued for ceasefire within a week. Assembly Day. The Galactic Assembly convened a year later. The Velari demanded human disarmament. The humans demanded justice. Hale stood before the gathered representatives, towering insectoids, crystalline entities, and biomechanical life forms, all watching the lone human in a black uniform. He placed a small holographic cube on the table. It replayed the Vega bombardment in chilling clarity, civilians vaporized, screams echoing. "This," Hale said, "is what the Dominion called peace." He replaced it with footage of the human fleet at Orion's Edge, 1,000 explosions blooming like flowers of fire. "This," he continued, "is what we call justice." The assembly chamber fell silent. The Talcor delegate finally spoke. "And if the galaxy turns against you, Admiral, what then?" Hale met her gaze. "Then they'll learn what every tyrant on our world learned, that humans never stop fighting when something we love is taken." Epilogue. Legacy of Fire. Decades later, long after the last shot was fired, the Treaty of Sol became the cornerstone of galactic law, banning orbital bombardments and recognizing planetary sovereignty. The humans never sought empire. They rebuilt their worlds, shared their technology, and opened trade with former enemies. But across the galaxy, one phrase lingered in whispered conversations between admirals and diplomats alike. never provoke the Terrans. Because they had learned, painfully and permanently, that beneath humanity's smiles and songs and art burned a fire older than the stars. A fire that only came alive when someone thought they could extinguish it.